The Baltimore Ravens are proving to be an outstanding team in the NFL right now. Despite the 49ers, who are still an impressive team, the Ravens have been catching everyone's attention with their incredible performances. They currently lead the AFC North with a 7-2 record, winning 4 consecutive games, 2 of which were remarkable blowout victories against strong opponents. One standout game was their dominant 38-6 win against the Detroit Lions. It's undeniable that Ravens played exceptionally well. Lamar Jackson was outstanding, scoring 4 total touchdowns, amassing 357 passing yards, and adding 36 rushing yards. Even though Detroit is considered one of the top NFC teams, the Ravens made them appear powerless, showcasing their offensive prowess. In their recent matchup against the Seattle Seahawks, another formidable team, the Ravens secured an impressive 37-3 victory. Despite Seattle entering the game with a 5-2 record and being a respectable team, the Ravens once again demonstrated their dominance. Baltimore's offense was relentless, tallying up 515 yards compared to the Seahawks' meager 151. These convincing wins against quality opponents have established the Ravens as a force to be reckoned within the league. Lamar Jackson's exceptional performances have been a driving factor behind the recent success, making the Ravens a team that demands attention in the NFL. The Ravens didn't just excel offensively, their defense also shone brightly, making the game a tough, ugly affair for Seattle. In between their remarkable victories, they secured a 31-24 win over the Cardinals, which, though not overly impressive, was still a welcomed victory. 2 weeks earlier, they had a tight one-possession win against the Titans. It's worth noting that it's peculiar how Baltimore managed to overpower 2 strong opponents while struggling more against weaker ones in the past 4 weeks. They seem to elevate their game against top-tier teams, but underperform against those considered inferior. It's almost like they're the opposite of the Dolphins in that regard this season. While they've hit their stride recently, their season didn't start flawlessly. They had a 3-2 record after dropping games to teams they probably should have defeated. The surprising loss to the Colts and a 17-10 defeat against the Steelers marked their early season struggles. Speaking of the Steelers, they're a team whose performance hinges largely on their defense. Their offense might not be as impressive as the Ravens, but when their defense shows up, they're a threat. In the initial 5-game stretch, Baltimore kicked off the season by convincingly defeating the Texans 25-9 and crushing the Browns with a decisive 28-3 victory. However, there's some context to be considered for that particular game. Deshaun Watson was absent, with Dorian Thompson-Robinson filling in and throwing 3 interceptions, which somewhat diminishes the significance of that game had Watson played. Baltimore's win over the Bengals in Week 2, although at a time when the Bengals were struggling and Joe Burrow wasn't fully fit, remains a credible victory considering the circumstances. Historically, the Bengals tend to start slow and improve as the season progresses, a trend noticed since Burrow joined the league. The Ravens undeniably stand as a formidable football team, perhaps even one of the best in the league. While the 49ers, who are a good team, they've encountered some difficulties lately, dropping consecutive games and now facing a critical juncture to prove their prowess. Conversely, Baltimore has consistently proven their mettle week after week, especially against tough opponents. However, their upcoming stretch poses significant challenges that will truly test their capabilities. In the near future, they have crucial back-to-back divisional matchups against the Browns and the Bengals, both at home. The return of Deshaun Watson for the Browns game, coupled with the Browns' strong defense this season, presents a genuine challenge for the Ravens' offense. Additionally, the Bengals have found their rhythm, making their contest another pivotal test within the competitive AFC North division. Following these intense divisional battles, the Ravens will face formidable opponents in the Los Angeles Chargers and the Los Angeles Rams. It's worth noting that the Chargers, despite their talent, have struggled, leaving many puzzled about their performance this season. While slightly off topic, it remains a point of curiosity for many football enthusiasts. Let us know why you think they struggle in the comments. The Ravens' December schedule includes matchup against the quietly successful Jaguars, the strong 49ers, and the Dolphins, a team that historically struggles against opponents with winning records. This stretch will be crucial in determining the Ravens' true abilities. Despite their recent strong performances, these games will provide a clear picture of their strengths. Closing out their season against the Steelers at home seems favorable, unless the Steelers' defense performs exceptionally well, as they tend to struggle if opposing offenses score more than 17 points. There's a desire for intense competition in the AFC North. The Bengals are finding their rhythm, and while the Browns have shown solid defensive capabilities, their offense isn't outstanding. Amidst this, Amari Cooper has quietly established himself as one of the top wide receivers in football, while the Browns' defense has been impressive. The AFC North standings shows a tight race, with each team trailing the Baltimore Ravens by just 2 games. Any misstep by the Ravens could allow the Bengals, Steelers, or Browns to seize the division lead. Although personally, I don't anticipate the Steelers making that push. No disrespect to the Steelers fans, but changes might be needed within the coaching staff. Nonetheless, the Ravens are shaping up to be a playoff caliber team and potentially a Super Bowl contender. Their key strength undoubtedly lies in Lamar Jackson's exceptional performances. Despite a challenging 2022 due to a PCL injury, Jackson has returned to top form, playing like one of the league's best quarterbacks. His impressive stats, including a 71.2% completion rate, 1,954 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, along with his significant contributions in rushing yards and touchdowns, illustrate his incredible impact on the team. Interestingly, though, he isn't the team's leading rusher, which comes as a surprise. Gus Edwards has notably emerged as the primary running back for the Ravens, exhibiting impressive performances with 110 carries, 478 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Initially, J.K. Dobbins was set to take the lead in the running game but suffered an Achilles injury in Week 1. It's disheartening to see Dobbins, who was anticipated to make a significant impact, facing persistent injury setbacks throughout his career. Unfortunately, his journey has been marred by severe injuries, hindering his potential. While there's hope for his recovery, it's uncertain if he'll return to full form given his history. Surprisingly, Justin Hill has seen considerable action, and Keaton Mitchell, an undrafted rookie from ECU, showcased his talent with an impressive 138 yards on 9 carries against the Seahawks. The Ravens' rushing attack remains formidable, even with the changes in their backfield personnel. Mark Andrews stands out as the primary receiver in the Ravens' offense, already amassing 477 yards and 6 touchdowns this season. Previously, Andrews was a beacon of hope in what seemed like a weaker receiving corps for the Ravens. Despite attempts to bolster their wide receiver unit, Odell Beckham Jr., despite being paid handsomely, hasn't made a substantial impact with only 218 yards in 7 games. His recent touchdown for the Ravens brings some optimism, and the Ravens used their 22nd overall draft pick on Zay Flowers, an impressive prospect from BC. Flowers has been consistently impressive, showcasing athleticism and making eye-catching plays, indicating a promising future in the pros. Particularly with Lamar Jackson as the quarterback, he has amassed 472 yards and a touchdown this season. Nelson Aguilar and Rashad Bateman have also contributed around 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, both scores coming from Aguilar. While the offense displays exceptional strength, the Ravens' defense stands out as one of the best in the league, an aspect requiring little elaboration due to its sheer excellence. The offensive improvements from last season deserve acknowledgement, and credit goes to Todd Monken for his impactful contributions. While many called for Greg Roman's dismissal, similar to the Matt Canada situation, Roman stayed, and Monken, known for his success as Georgia's offensive coordinator, was brought in by John Harbaugh. Monken's influence has elevated the team's offensive performance, complemented by Lamar Jackson's return to top form. There are numerous reasons for optimism surrounding the Ravens, with one of the league's premier defenses, a top-tier quarterback, a stellar tight end, and a formidable rushing attack. Their potential for success is apparent. This Ravens team is undoubtedly a Super Bowl contender, possibly emerging as the most significant threat to the Chiefs in the AFC. While the Chiefs have displayed vulnerabilities this season, the Ravens, on the other hand, appear intimidating and are seemingly just getting started. Your opinions are valuable. Feel encouraged to share your thoughts on the Ravens' performance this season in the comments. They're a genuine contender and appear ready for a successful postseason, marking a significant period for a team that clinched the Super Bowl victory with Joe Flacco as their quarterback previously.